Brianna accepted her guaranteed offer knowing she could choose her closing date. She took the time she needed to buy her next house. Then she went back and closed on her home sale. Brianna's story is just one of the many situations where guaranteed offer completely eliminates your biggest headache. That's why it's so popular. The days of cleaning and decluttering and all those showings and such, those days are over. And so are the days of not selling your home because you don't know where to go next, or the days of giving it away for a lowball offer. Those days, thankfully, are gone. Feel good about selling your home today. Go to chrislindahl.com right now. Apply for the guaranteed offer program. That's Chris with a K. chrislindahl.com.
If there's one thing everybody really needs right now, it's reliable home internet. But no one needs any of the hassles that usually come along with it. That's why T-Mobile is bringing you a new choice for high-speed home internet without annual service contracts or data caps. With T-Mobile home internet, you get a fast and reliable connection for just $50 a month with autopay, with no hidden fees and no price hikes. That's right, just $50 a month. That's all it takes for you to get back to work or school or your favorite show so you can do what you need to online. And get this, T-Mobile home internet is super simple to set up. You can have it up and running in minutes. Plus, we offer 24/7 live technical support so you can chat with a real person if you need anything. What are you waiting for, Minnesota? Get hassle-free home internet from T-Mobile today. Sign up at T-Mobile.com/home internet. That's T-Mobile.com/home internet.
During congestion, home internet customers may notice speeds lower than other customers due to data prioritization. Coverage not available in all areas. Qualifying account and credit required. Sales tax and regulatory fees included in monthly price for eligible accounts. $5 more per month without autopay. See rate for details.
BetRivers Sportsbook is ready to make this football season one to remember. All season, score at BetRivers Sportsbook with free bets, odds boosts, and more. Player props, thousands of game lines, and live in-game betting. BetRivers Sportsbook delivers best-in-class sports betting experiences with outstanding customer service to back it up. Go to BetRivers.com. And if you reside in a non-regulated state, then BetRivers.net has action for you. BetRivers, your hometown sportsbook. Must be 21, must be present in Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, or Pennsylvania to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Fan. Vikings postgame coverage continues now with Vikings Overtime on FM 100.3 KFAN and the Fan Radio Network. Vikings Overtime is presented by Profile by Sanford, Comcast, and by TimberTech. Now with more postgame coverage of today's Vikings game, here's the Fans, Eric Nordquist, AJ Mansour, and Paul Lambert.
What's happening, sports fans? Your Minnesota Vikings win 27-24 to the 1-11 Jacksonville Jags, who have lost 11 straight after starting 1-0. But your Minnesota Vikings get the victory. They are now 6-6. And at one point, it felt like a long time ago, boys. They were 1-5, and they've won 5 of 6 to get themselves to 6-6. But it wasn't pretty today. Kirk Cousins, 305, a touchdown. He had that awful, or 3 touchdowns, excuse me. He had that awful pick 6 to start the second half, which was just disgusting. But they find a win, man. This Jacksonville team looked like a team that thought, all right, the Jets are going to lose again. It doesn't matter what we do because we're not going to get the first pick. Wait a minute, the Jets are going to win. Let's try. Wait a minute, the Jets are going to lose. Let's take it. It looked like they were seesaw battling with the scoreboard. That Jacksonville team is hideous, even though, if you're in Vegas, you love that Jacksonville team because they kept pace and they lost by less than 10.
Yeah, both those teams on the field today were pretty hideous. It's hard to really look at the Vikings and say, outside of earning the win and finding a way to do it, clearly some extenuating circumstances with Eric Kendricks going out right before the game. That's a giant impact for this team. But they I wouldn't say they impressed. I mean, they're back to 500, which is something that we thought wouldn't happen this season the way that they started. They are in the thick now of the playoff hunt, which is a fun thing to end the season with. But they continue to play down to the competition. They continue to be inconsistent. They continue to not really impress on a week-to-week basis. So I don't know. Nobody feels good, but I guess we're happy. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, but we're also, Nordo, we're good play calling in against Carolina away from being 4-5, right, or whatever, 4-6, and then we're good play calling away, or a decent quarterback away in this one from being whatever it is, 4-8. I mean, that these 2 games you could have lost. A team that is going to go somewhere in the playoffs. If this were a college resume where you had to prove your resume to get in, they wouldn't, because of that awful loss to the Cowboys, this ugly win, and then last week's ugly win.
Yeah, the wins count. The last 3 games, and I mean, just go back 3 games. So Dallas, how did that go? That was awful.
Yeah, that was hideous.
Worst loss of the season, maybe. If and we could nitpick our way through that too. But last week against the Panthers, probably closer than it needed to be, and then today, it's just an under talented defense. What do we got going on?
He just wants Devontae Adams to get another touchdown.
You missed it?
Yeah.
Are you just chasing the ghost on this one?
Yeah, but I got a chance now, man.
Okay. All right.
I mean, not much, but I got a chance.
Yeah, the defense is just undermanned. I think Chris Boyd is kind of presenting some issues there. We saw Gladney leave. He was getting like his right calf massage or something weird. At some point. Didn't see much of him. Harrison Hand in the mix after that. Mike Glennon had all day today.
All day. And that interception he threw to Harrison at the end, I mean, Shark was wide open.
Yeah.
He just overthrew him.
Wow, that was the first touchdown of the game, too.
So,
yeah, good point.
Zimmer's trotting out a defense, and he's trying to be sneaky with some guys that can't get it done. We cannot create a pass rush with just 4 guys. And when we would blitz, in a lot of ways, Glennon was just able to maneuver his way, and he'd hit O'Shaughnessy or he'd hit Tyler Eifert. He utilized the tight ends quite a bit today. The defense is not adequate, and it's keeping everyone in all these games. And I can't remember, maybe it was you, Saucy. They do kind of play down to their competition a little bit, and just the lack of energy. I watched Dalvin out there, and until you could kind of feel him get near that century mark, and kind of like it felt like it took him a while to be engaged in the game. And we were listening. You guys listen to the radio during the game, and I do as well because I'm there. Pete kept referencing, maybe he's a little banged up. You don't have Alexander Madison to spell him today because of the emergency appendectomy. So, did that play into the fact that he once again, if we're trying to rest our horse and we're still giving him 30 touches a game, I mean, that's the antithesis of that. So,
I mean, we talked earlier in the year where you were not on the tanking bit, and then AJ and I were, but all 3 of us can agree we're not on the 8-8 season, which this kind of looks like it's going to end. They're probably going to lose to Tampa, and they're probably going to lose to New Orleans, who will have Breeze back and be playing 4, even in that second to last week of the season. Because Green Bay is going to keep pace, they will be playing 4 that only bye. It's not that there's 2 buys anymore, there's 1.
Yeah.
So we're going to run into probably an 8-8 season. That doesn't get you in.
Maybe. I mean, this is the same team that went to Lambeau and won out of the bye. I mean, the frustrating part of this is how unpredictable this team is. And in moments and in matchups, Zimmer's been able to make things happen. Now, against this team, I mean, I hate to say it, I kind of felt like this was, if there was ever going to be a game this year with this team that you could roll the ball out and win, this was the game for me.
Sure.
And I know that Jacksonville's kept it close, and now we see why. They do have some young defensive playmakers.
Well, their running back's sweet.
And they are playing
kid's
hard.
Really good.
Yeah.
Well, Robinson's good and consistent, but like his longest run of the year is like 30-some yards.
I heard Charge say he gets 98% of the carries, so he gets a bunch of opportunities.
Wow.
Yeah, and so is it Ogumbawale or Obungawale? I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, we'll go
his first name's
Dare.
His first name's Dare. It's number 33. He got a couple of opportunities today. Yeah, so they have young kids that are trying hard, and so they keep the games close. But I watched our guys just make a ton of mistakes. At the top of the list for me is Dan Bailey missing 2 extra points and a field goal. I don't think he'd missed a field goal since like week 4 against Houston. He wasn't right today. I don't know. It's just every single week there's like a new thing with the team where, but, right. And today it was Kendricks being out last minute, and there's this new hurdle that they have to get over, and they make things so much more difficult than they have to be. Even in the last drive there, you have the opportunity to plunge it in, and of course Dakota Dozier is going to get a false start. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah,
why wouldn't he with this team?
That was bad.
Why wouldn't he? After Zimmer said, you know what? Screw the kicker. I'm just going to finish it with Dalvin and get out of here, so I don't even have to sweat a kick.
Yeah,
get the false start.
I don't blame him for that.
I don't blame him for it either. So it's just every week there's a but, and then something happens. And
that's the difference between good teams and bad teams.
Correct.
Right? I mean, good teams find ways to be consistent. Bad teams are just very inconsistent.
The perfect example of that, AJ, is the Steelers.
Right.
They play they haven't played. I mean, they played some good teams, but they played a lot of bad teams, but they win.
Well, and you even look at like New Orleans. We've talked about them a couple times. They face adversity and they find a different way to win. They're still solid. They cover the gaps. Where there's a deficiency over here, this team steps up, or this group steps up. The Vikings they're not good enough to do that. They're not veteran enough to do that. They're not. There's some talent on this team. It's hard to argue that with Dalvin, Jefferson, Kirk, Kendricks, when they're healthy, Barr and Harrison Smith. I mean, there's talent on both sides of the football here. But we talk about New Orleans again. Let's not forget that when Drew Brees was there, and you guys were kind of saying that that's going to be a very tough game. For sure it is. But when Drew Brees was in there, that team wasn't lighting it up. Alvin Kamara was a stud, but Drew Brees isn't Drew Brees like we've seen him in the past. Isn't able to throw the ball down the field like he has been. They're able to get more of a passing game, which balances that offense a little bit and makes them more dangerous. But it's not I wouldn't say it's a for sure thing. It's still a very, very tough game. But you're right in saying that Tampa Bay and New Orleans are the ones that you're looking at to say, hey, we got to try and win one of those and give ourselves a good shot at the
and
playoffs.
then win the other two against Detroit and Chicago.
I think
that's not a guarantee either.
Yeah, I think the problem that we're going to run into is this team, as you said, Nordo, they can get no pass rush. And without Kendricks, we don't do any of us. I mean, you guys were at the game. Do we know? Have we heard anything about the severity of this injury?
No, CBS caught it on TV.
Like warming up.
CBS caught a clip on TV of him doing, karaoke where you twist your feet back and forth like gym class.
Yeah.
Doing that calisthenics bit to warm up. And the last step of his thing, he came up and like a shock reached down to his calf and then headed off the field. So I think that this is an injury that he's been dealing with that popped up again. But I mean, it is a situation where you never know with these soft tissue injuries. It could be, he's back on Monday. It could be he's not back for a couple of weeks. Who knows?
Because good luck to them guarding Gronk without him. I mean,
who started to figure it out?
Yeah.
Good luck defending Gronk. I mean, and as good as Eric Wilson has been in spots, like he's splashy. He can make plays.
That's a good way to put it.
They played well
But over the balance of a season, he's going to get exposed a lot. Him covering guys downfield, it's not good.
Nope.
And so, and Glennon, and to their credit, went after that very early, and they found success with it. So we don't know. I mean, we need him back. We certainly need, as I heard PA say on the call multiple times, the heart and soul of our defense.
Yeah.
We need that guy back in the mix.
The other thing too that the Minnesota Vikings ran into today is the offensive line played really bad. We saw that again today, where they were whether there's something wrong with Cook. But we just saw him, and we saw Brian O'Neill get beat badly a couple of times. I know they have a Josh Allen too, right? The kid from
he wasn't playing though.
But yeah, so I don't know anyone that on that defensive line. So
they got they have a couple of young guys that
but our offensive line got pushed around.
There's a Smoot that's early 20s, like 24, 25. That Joe Schobert actually came from the Browns. He's older.
Oh, yeah.
Late 20s. Adam Gotsis, I think is his name. Aaron Lynch is a relic. They have a ton of guys that are hurt.
Wait, Aaron Lynch still the old Packer?
Yeah, and was he a Niner and Bear? I think he was a Bear, wasn't he? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
He's but he was in the division at one point, and that's the guy I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So they got some relics on that team, but they have a ton of young kids. I think the defense in Jacksonville will be good in a couple of years if everyone's healthy and those kids grow up a little bit. But there was for me, I mean, Kirk was just getting murdered on every single drop back. And that's the one thing I look at this team. I don't want to project. You like projecting like the 8-8 now the season will wrap up. For me, I look forward, and I think in situations like today where it took Cook forever, right? He had 27 or 28 carries to get over 100 yards.
Yeah.
He didn't get any of those big explosive plays like we normally are accustomed to. When we can't get Kirk bootlegging and we can't get those explosive runs from Dalvin, better teams are going to make us pay for that because they were missing 3 or 4 corners. There were one-on-ones outside all day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this was an opportunity, and Kirk got to 300 eventually. This was a 450-5 type of potential given the matchup advantages in our favor. And so, but he was just getting smacked on every single drop back. And with this offensive line, if we aren't able to move Kirk and they keep us contained without the bootlegs and play action, better teams are going to smack us.
Right.
And that would be teams like maybe Tampa next week. That would be New Orleans on Christmas Day. Those better teams are going to exploit that and hurt our offense badly.
But very scary. Jacksonville came into this game with 11 sacks on the season, and they walked away with 4 more.
And they had 14 quarterback hits.
It was just.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to defend our offensive line.
This is maybe the worst we've seen them.
Right.
It was bad.
And they're as inconsistent as anybody. I mean, we've had weeks where we gathered here and we've talked about how good they looked.
Well,
across the board, run game, pass protection.
Well, and we all kind of agreed, I think, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. We all kind of thought, hey, infusing Ezra Cleveland in the mix, that felt like a significant upgrade. So now you could at least link Bradbury, Ezra, and O'Neal as competent members of that offensive line. That didn't matter today. It didn't matter.
Yeah, it was
at all.
not good.
Whew.
But the other thing too is this defensive line doesn't get any pressure. And as we look forward, and we got to get victories. We got to split with Tampa and New Orleans to at least have a chance. The problem that they're going to run into is both those quarterbacks just stand there. None of them move. Brady is literally a statue. He's the GOAT, but he'll rarely run, and Breeze is the same. They get no pressure with this defensive line. I mean, there were guys playing today that I was like, who is that? I had never, who's the guy that got the,
Jordan Brailford.
Who the hell's that?
Good question.
I'd never heard of that guy until I think they picked him up off waivers this week, and then Yarborough is playing. Who the hell are these guys?
Well, DJ Wanham was out, and so you needed to beef up things. So that's where Brailford, I think, comes in the mix. Eddie Yarborough he's a cast off from the Buffalo Bills,
right?
And he was a practice squad guy for them. I think we saw him in like a preseason game.
Yeah,
that was
him up, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so, we get no pass rush, Saucy. We can't affect the quarterback. Now, given the lack of success on the interior of our defensive line, think about Tom Brady a week from now.
I wonder what the line is for next week.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was at 7 or so at that point. Yeah, we'll hear it. But Tom Brady off of 2 consecutive tough losses.
And they're on the bye.
And they've had a bye week to think about it. And Arians, low-key indirectly take shots at the greatest quarterback to ever play the game during his press conference.
Hey, and they got tape of these linebackers that might have to play a lot.
And now we got Troy Dye out there trying to man the middle of the field. Uh-oh. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe let's shoot for that New Orleans game, because Zimmer always plays well against Peyton and Breeze.
3-0? Your guy was talking about it on Friday. My favorite
they
part
lost in 2018.
My favorite part about Friday's show is when you guys were going on and on about who you want to face in the playoffs, and then Carl came on Barrero and just savaged you guys.
Oh, why not? Yeah. Well, think about the 3 matchups. For me, this is how I would look at it. If we're and again, projecting to the playoffs is a scary thing, especially after what we saw today.
But you and I want a playoff game, because it'll be sometime we can get Yang Z.
Well, and you know what it does? Yeah, well, that's part of it.
That's 90% of it.
To your point with the 8-8, I don't want to project where we finish, but after watching the 1-5 and then watching us limp our way to the finish line in some of these games in just a weird ass year, pay us off with a playoff game, please.
How about go to Lambeau?
That's what I'm saying. So I don't want to go. There's something, we got some sort of curse.
We could stay at Shells.
There's a black cloud over us when we go to CenturyLink every single time.
Yeah, we're not going to win there, yeah. Are they winning?
They were losing to the Giants. We might not have to worry about them. They're down 17-12 with 6 minutes left. I don't want to go to CenturyLink. I don't want to go to the Superdome, because to get into the playoffs, we'd probably have to win there. So I don't want to beat Peyton and then have to do it again 2 weeks later. That just seems weird to me.
Right.
Maybe I'm overthinking it. Let's go to Lambeau.
Yeah, let's do it.
And let's watch Harrison Hand versus Devontae Adams.
Your Minnesota Vikings won 27-24. Dalvin Cook 120, not a touchdown, but he didn't have one through the air, but he had 59 yards through the air, so almost 200 yards for Dalvin. Justin Jefferson, man, 9 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. That offensive pass interference was weak. That's another 60 yards. So without that, that's a 200-yard game for that kid. He's unbelievable. When he come
set
back,
that franchise record.
Yeah, he did. He's
most 100-yard games. Randy did it in 98.
Well, and what's the other stat I have here? He's the others to get the quickest to 1,000 yards in 12 career games. Odell Beckham, Marquise Colston was a 7th-round pick, and he did it, man.
Marcus Colston.
Wow.
Hofstra.
Bolden, and then Moss.
That's sweet.
That is sweet. We come back, we'll talk more about the Vikings. We'll update you on the games going on in the afternoon. A lot of them have some playoff implication, and we will talk about how we can get in. We think we're in if Arizona loses, but Nordo and I looked at it, so don't take our word for it.
Tired of searching for sports updates in different places? The Xfinity Sports Zone gives you the ultimate sports hub experience, where you can find games, news, and highlights all in one place right on your TV. Follow the teams you love across your favorite sports. You can even use the voice remote to access stats and scores. With the Xfinity Sports Zone, everybody wins. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store for details. Restrictions apply. Requires Xfinity TV service with X1.
Hey, it's Nordo for Profile by Sanford. AJ, you look fantastic. How's the weight loss journey going?
It's gone great. It's something that has been difficult for me in the past, but Profile has taken the guesswork out of it and helped me along the way.
The food's good, the program's unbelievable, but working with the coaches, that's awesome as well.
That's right. Whether you have an up week or a down week, they guide you the entire way, and ultimately it will work for you.
Why don't you guide yourself to profileplan.com, 14 awesome locations in Minnesota. Learn more about the program and how you can make a lifestyle change. Profileplan.com. It's profileplan.com. Home Wi-Fi working overtime. With Amazon Eero, you can say goodbye to dead spots and buffering. Stay connected with Wi-Fi that works from home, too. Get 30% off select Eero systems now, U.S. and Canada only while supplies last. Offer ends December 21st. Visit Eero.com, EERO.com for more details.
A new year means a new attitude, because it's not if you're going to date again, it's when. The professional matchmakers at It's Just Lunch know what it takes to bring the right people together, and nothing gives you a new outlook in a new year like a new relationship. The days of putting your life on hold are over. Visit itsjustlunchtwincities.com or call 612-355-2727 right now and make connection your resolution. It's Just Lunch. Connection awaits with guaranteed dates.
Whether you need a car now or plan to buy someday soon, Cars.com has nearly 2 million cars ready for home delivery. Set up virtual appointments with local dealers to tour your favorites. Save the car you want, click to buy when you're ready. Find your match on Cars.com.
These lakes hold a lot of stories, and all of them get better every time they're told. Because you've got 40-inch gators out there, giant Lakers, crappies, sunnies, and walleye. So many walleye. So get ready with the best from clam, otter, Vexilar, hummingbird, garmin, 13 fishing, and many more. The Shields Ice Fishing Sale runs now through December 13th, in-store and online at shields.com. The ice is calling.
This is the sound of being unsure.
Okay.
It's something a lot of people experience when they need to find their own health insurance. At MNsure, we're here to help you be sure. Be sure you're comparing the right options to find the right health plan for you. Be sure you're getting any and all financial help you have coming to you. Be sure with free advice from a MNsure certified broker or navigator. Because when it comes to health insurance, it's better to be sure at mnsure.org.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
I love my Charmin Super Mega Golden Goes last long, it's TP Gold, yeah. Charmin's got 6 rows in one, lasts forever on my buns. Only Super Mega when I'm cleaning. Charmin's got my booty believing.
Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 regular rolls in one. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Napa know-how. Nothing causes holiday stress like the words, some assembly required. Well, Napa's here to help with an Evercraft 100-piece screwdriver set for just $19.99. So no matter what Santa and his elves leave for you to put together, you'll be prepared. So save on the Evercraft 100-piece screwdriver set and other great tools from Napa. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations while supplies last. Offer ends 12/31/20.
For more information on KFAN radio contests, go to KFAN.com/rules.
The Vikings postgame conversation continues tomorrow on my show. It's Paul Allen, weekdays 9 to noon on FM 100.3 KFAN.
About a yard deep in the end zone, west side of U.S. Bank Stadium. Here's a safety! Yes! It's a safety for the Minnesota Vikings. and they have taken the lead 21-16. I believe it's a Fadi Odenabo.
Your Minnesota Vikings win, but we suddenly have a barn burner in Green Bay. Green
so
Bay.
Happy right now.
Well, I want my guy Devontae Adams to get one more shot at a rainbow touchdown down the field so I can catch up in the Charge Challenge. But all the Eagles fans are now saying Justin Jefferson, who, as Rager, the guy that was taken before him.
They are not.
No, I know they're not. But as they're taken before, I can't believe they took him. When Nordo and I were doing the draft and they announced.
Oh, we all were like that.
I was like, what?
Right.
Him?
Justin Jefferson had just come off a huge national title?
Yeah, and was dominant in that game. Yeah. But how about this, man? The Eagles have now scored 2 touchdowns in a minute and 20, and the Packers are now up 23-16 pending extra point.
So you want Aaron to go deep to Devontae.
I want a couple more
complete the
points.
3.
I want a couple. No. Yeah. I want at least one more touchdown. But how about this, man? Hurts has come into this game, and I know we talked about it a little bit on the power trip, and fantasy people have talked about it, but they kept showing that thing last night. They missed the extra point. Hideous. They kept showing bad day for kickers, man. They kept showing that stat in the Eagles, whoever they played last week game, going, the reason that they're not going to bench Wentz is he's owed like $54 million next year.
Yeah, they lost to the Seahawks, I think.
But Wentz was awful.
Losing to the Giants.
Wentz was awful last week. Now he's awful again. So here we go with Jalen Hurts. But we're not talking about that yet. We're talking about your Minnesota Vikings, who won 27-24 in overtime. Do we have an issue, AJ, with the kicking game, or is this just maybe a one-time thing?
I don't know. I mean, Bailey's been pretty consistent. Now, what we talk about with special teams, specifically in the snapping to the kicker or the holder to the snapping to the punter, that sort of thing, is consistency, and they haven't had that this year. Obviously, with their change to move on from Austin Cutting, they brought a new person in, someone who they haven't had that year or so to work with, to understand, to get the timing down. The field goal that Dan Bailey missed towards the end of the game, the snap was high. Should it have impacted the field goal? Probably not. But it was
held fine.
It was a high snap. They got it down. There's something along that transition that might not be right. But Dan Bailey should never miss 2 extra points, to my knowledge. And
that last one he missed was
hideous,
awful,
hideous, and it seemed like that was on him. It wasn't necessarily bad snap, bad hold, any of that stuff. So, do we have a problem? No. Do we have confidence? No.
Right.
I think maybe that's how we can leave it. But I mean, special teams on this team from top to bottom, whether it be coverage, returns, any of all of it is just terrible. Just terrible this year. So
it's the butts of 2020, man.
Right.
I mean, you get the go ahead against the Cowboys, and then Tony Pollard, suddenly Chris Jones doesn't want to get his jersey dirty, so he doesn't attempt it. Like, just weird things happen in every single game. And today it was Dan Bailey's turn to offer some mystery. I was just so excited about today because I'm thinking, with the rhythm that they have, they actually do what you mentioned, Paul, that the Steelers have done. They won a game that they probably shouldn't have against the Panthers. Learn from that. Get better. And now coming into this game, despite that Eric Kendricks is out, you're facing, one of the worst third down offense. I mean, just find a category. The Jaguars are not good at it. That's why they've lost 10 straight. I was looking forward to a fourth quarter where, kind of like against Detroit, hey, we got a lead. We can just kind of get the shoulders moving a little bit, just, stress-free and all of that. And here I am until 3:40 in the afternoon, just wondering whether, can Dalvin avoid a fumble here? Can we just get up with a win? Does the coin toss go wrong? And suddenly, we're going the other way. It's just, every game we make it so much harder than it has to be.
Right. Yeah, which is maybe a tall tale sign that I don't know if they can win a playoff game. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get in. The beauty is there will be no giant crowd noise. That helps. So the only thing that helps with
all we got going for us.
Right, but that's about it. But the only thing that helps these teams that want this first round bye is home field advantage is fine, but home field advantage doesn't really matter unless it's Lambeau or Seattle, where you got to go where the weather can be a factor. But New Orleans, the weather's not a factor, and there's no crowd. The problem
They have a few thousand people there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not.
But it's not normal.
Yeah,
Nothing's
correct.
normal.
No,
Yeah.
nothing is normal. It's 2020, man. But
there's no dominant team in the NFC right now.
Well,
there still isn't.
Aren't the Saints though with Breeze?
There's good teams.
They've won 9 straight.
Yeah, they've lost 2 total,
And they
right?
figure out, they're 9. They should be 10-2 now because they Taysom Hill,
who's terrible,
despite how awful he is, they're still winning games. They beat Atlanta today. So, but Seattle on the grind to get by the Giants at home, you would have never anticipated that. Maybe it's the Packers and the Saints is the class of the conference right now.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the problem though is the other cool thing about these playoffs is the Vikings have a chance. In a normal year, they don't really have a. Oh no! Did that take me? That was stupid.
I think, you can whittle things down to matchups against these teams. We've had, success in recent years against the Saints, and we've won at Lambeau already this year. Like you can point to those things and say you can be competitive in these games. Right. And I just, but all the same, projecting it, if we play like we did today, you're not going to beat maybe 1 or 2 teams in the entire NFL with the way that you played today.
Well, and the other thing with a playoff game too is you got to play every phase well. And the fact that the Vikings are so bad in the special teams, that could come back to haunt them. By the way, the Packers, after giving up a punt return touchdown, they just went 3 and out. And now have to
threw the ball.
And they threw the ball
downs.
on 2 of them. Now they have to punt it back. Think if Jalen Hurts comes back and wins this game in Green Bay, it'll be the best Tennessee montage of all time. But what a collapse this team would be. Anyhow, the Viking special teams problem is all cute when you're playing Carolina and you're playing the team they played today in Jacksonville. When you have a team like a Green Bay, like a New Orleans, like a Tampa, or a Seattle that you may, if you make it, face in the playoffs, they're going to take, they would love short fields. You can do that against the awful teams that you have played the past couple of weeks, even Dallas, who albeit you lost to, but that's not something you can do in the playoffs. They got to shore that up, and I don't know how they can shore their special teams up in 4 weeks.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, they've made so many mistakes there. There's no doubt about it. I will say, kind of turning the tide and looking at the positive aspects of things is that they've won 2 games in a row that they shouldn't have won. And that, while worrisome, the wins count. I loved the way that Cam Dantzler played today. The interception, the fumble. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Through 12 weeks of the season, the Vikings had, I believe, a total of 9 interceptions, and 6 of them were by linebackers. The other 3 were by Harrison Smith. None of the corners on this team had picked off anybody yet in 2020. Just an odd, reality of trying to figure out how to get these kids to play professional football on the fly. Cam Dantzler, very good today. I did think that, Braille, getting the safety and some of those things. So, there were positive things. And I also believe that with the way these special teams issues have come into play, they feel like they come in waves. So the best that you can do versus just saying, oh, we're screwed, is just to, at this point in this time of the year, hope that you can go to Tampa, play mistake-free in that aspect, figure out how to cover those juggernauts at wide receiver, and you hope that Eric Kendricks is healthy. But, just the common theme with all of this is health and oddity with the special teams.
Yeah, we have seen this team with they have the pieces to win a cold weather running style playoff game with Delvin. They can run downhill at people, and the thing that they can do well against a team like
Green Bay, on Green Bay all day.
They can run on Green Bay all day, and they can run a little bit on Tampa, I hope, and you can play keep away. That's how they're going to have to beat New Orleans, and they're going to have to beat Tampa.
This Tampa, by the way, is elite against the run.
Yeah. It'll be a real test.
This is going to be Kirk dropping back. This is going to be deception, trying to get him outside, bootlegging with his feet and extending plays. Whatever grind that Dalvin went through mentally, physically, or otherwise today, He's going to experience all of that and more next weekend in Tampa. So I hope he's healthy and ready to do it.
Well, and they can't, any of the little things that we talked about already today can't happen. You can't miss the extra points. You can't miss the field goals. You can't turn the ball over. You can't, Chris Boyd jumped 2 seconds early on that play in the first quarter. I mean, you can't have those mistakes.
He's had a precipitous downfall over the last
Right.
several weeks now. Hopefully he can right the ship. Oof.
Yeah.
Man, the New York Giants,
Oh,
who
they're
are
gonna win.
4-7, just beat the 8-3 Seattle Seahawks on the road.
Is that
17
I think that's
to
4
12.
straight wins for the Giants.
Yeah, how about that? Without Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Colt McCoy getting
Yeah.
the victory in Seattle today.
Right. Wow. What a
That's
victory
crazy.
for the Giants. Let's come back. We'll go around the league. We'll do some other things. There's a hopefully a spine tingler going on in Green Bay, although the Eagles have to punt because they are terrible.
In life, we rarely get a mulligan, an opportunity to do better the second time. That's why for the next few weeks, it's so important to do everything we can to stay healthy in body and mind. Hi, this is Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. This time of year, typically, we run our Safe Rides Home campaign. This is where we give people free rides home from bars to ensure that they arrive home safely and the road stays safe from alcohol-related collisions. Well, we can't do that this year. We do want to make certain we are all doing our part to keep our family, friends, and ourselves safe. This is everyone's opportunity to do something really good for our community. It will take all of us. Please do the right thing. Call someone you haven't talked to for a while. Read a good book. Spend some time journaling. Give what you can to those in need and be thankful for what we have. Not sure what you can do? Check out our blog at stcloudlegalexaminer.com for some additional ideas. We have the opportunity to come together and do what we need to do today for a better tomorrow.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Advance is helping you get your engine ready for the road this holiday season with the right oil, the right filter, at the right price every day. Get 5 quarts of full synthetic Mobil 1, Valvoline, Castrol Edge, or Pennzoil Platinum with the Mobil 1 oil filter for just $33.99. Plus, this holiday season, get a $25 NBA store gift card and 2 times Speed Perks points instantly with the purchase of 5 quarts of Mobil 1. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2020 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
Hey, it's Nordo for Profile by Sanford. AJ, you look fantastic. How's the weight loss journey going?
It's gone great. It's something that has been difficult for me in the past, but Profile has taken the guesswork out of it and helped me along the way.
The food's good, the program's unbelievable, but working with the coaches, that's awesome as well.
That's right. Whether you have an up week or a down week, they guide you the entire way, and ultimately it will work for you.
Why don't you guide yourself to profileplan.com? 14 awesome locations in Minnesota. Learn more about the program and how you can make a lifestyle change. Profileplan.com. It's profileplan.com.
It's Paul Allen. Know what the legendary Purple People Eaters and TimberTech decking have in common? A dominating defense. TimberTech has the durability to hold up against Minnesota weather for decades. Not only will it not rot, warp, or splinter like conventional wood, it looks more like wood than any composite brand. And with up to a 50-year warranty, you're protected season after season. Start designing the deck you've always wanted at timbertech.com. Better tech, better deck. TimberTech, go against the grain.
There are so many ways to win at Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Join the Island Passport Club for member-exclusive promotions like healthy hot seats, pull tab takeover, point multiplier, and more. You'll even get special offers on your birthday. Visit TICasino.com for more. That's TICasino.com.
News Nation has the stories.
The mission of our storytelling is to bring you balance, not bias.
News Nation is your news. Every hour in prime time. Every night at 8, 7 Central on WGN America. Check your cable or satellite listings.
You know it's looming. Barrero for Samaritan Tire with the perfect deal to get your vehicle ready for the ravages of winter. Now through December 9th, get a $40, $80, or $120 reward card when you bundle purchases of at least 2 new Michelin or BF Goodrich passenger or light truck tires. Samaritan Tire, locally established for decades, They'll have you in and out in an hour with or without an appointment. Great locations, Minnetonka and Southdale in Edina.
See redemption form for qualifying tires eligible for the $40, $80, or $120 reward card offer. Offer expires December 9th. Void where prohibited. Free pickup and delivery of your car with any new tire purchase.
You are listening to FM 100.3, The Fan. For Skull is FM 100.3 KFAN. The Fan.
Bailey from 23 to walk off. Snap spot. Bailey! Sixth win. The Vikings win 27-24. Bailey walks off a winner for the first time in his kicking career with the Minnesota Vikings.
As PA said, your Minnesota Vikings are now 6-6. They will probably be tied for some kind of playoff spot with the Arizona loss. Did we figure that out yet?
Yeah, I still, somebody that is more juiced into the NFL tie-breaking procedures than we are can tell us exactly why. Here's what it says. Let me find it here. Okay, tie-break for a wild card team. This is going to be just fantastic radio. Head-to-head, okay, they haven't played each other. Games within the conference. I think that if the Cardinals lose, they'll have the same conference record. And then it's best percentage in common games, minimum of 4. Not going to go through that. Strength of victory, there's like 10 of them. And then there's a coin toss. Number 11 is a coin toss. So I don't know if we have to get to the coin toss quite yet. But I have heard that if the Cardinals lose this game, which they look to be doing so, that the Vikings will be in the 7th spot.
Well,
so there you go.
They're in the conversation.
Yeah, let's go around the league here. You guys comment as you'd like. Rams 38, Cardinals in the game that we want the Cardinals to lose are down 28. There's 2 minutes left. They're
Rams
basically
have the ball, yeah.
Rams are just going to run the clock out. But Goff, 351 yards and a touchdown. So, there we go. I think they've had a couple defensive scores.
Yeah.
But, here we go in that game. But it looks like the Rams will win. Giants 17. The Seahawks 12. Hockey gets crap all the time for saying that teams that have to travel all the way across the country are at a disadvantage and a time change and all that. Well, the Giants proved Chris Hockey right by beating at the now 8-4 Seahawks, who that is their first loss at home.
Wait a minute. He says that the team traveling across the country, they're at a disadvantage?
Yeah.
So then the Giants would have proved him wrong, right?
That, yeah.
Because okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you believe that?
We all know what you meant.
Yeah, everyone knows what I meant. You don't have to comment on
No,
that.
I just didn't. I didn't know what you meant. I guess I'm the only one that didn't understand.
Yeah, I was hoping no one would bring it up and we could just move on.
They won 4 straight.
Yeah, how about that, man? But how about that's the first loss for the Seahawks at home.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
It's a tough ass place to play, and the Giants got it done. That's cool. And frankly,
backup quarterback too.
Backup quarterback Colt McCoy. But you look at their wins this year. So the Giants swept Washington, then they hosted the Eagles and won, and then they won at the Bengals. So they haven't exactly beaten the Titans of the NFC. But this is a chip in the new head coach. I think it's Joe Judge. His hat. So good for them. No Saquon. That team is so messed up. Young defense.
But obviously the defense is decent, right? If they're going to hold that Metcalf, who only had 80 yards, still that's a lot. But still,
Seattle offense is not what it was a couple.
They're
weeks
weird.
ago. I don't know what's going on.
They are. It's a weird offense.
The wheels have fallen off a little bit.
We thought the Eagles maybe had a comeback in them, but Aaron Jones ran for like 70 yards and a touchdown. So that game is most likely over. The Eagles have the ball, but the Packers are up 30-16. And Devontae Adams, 10 catches, 121 yards, and 2 touchdowns. How about the game of the day that a lot of people thought, well, if Justin Herbert is anything, he's going to have to beat Belichick. The Patriots are up 45-0.
Yeah.
Herbert has thrown 0 touchdowns and only 209 yards.
It's not good.
45 rip, and they have the ball. So the Patriots, man, are just hanging on. Just hanging on.
So their final games, actually, they're just staying out west. So this next week, they'll face the Rams. And then they play they have an opportunity. They win today, so they're 6-6. they could go to Miami and win in a couple of weeks, beat the Bills at home.
They finish with the Jets,
and then they host the Jets,
who are terrible and will be in Trevor Lawrence mode, and that game will be.
All things considered, Belichick could have his team in a position to fight for a wild card.
Yeah,
as a 9-7 team.
Yeah,
God, it's just
Saints 21, Falcons 16. Matt Ryan threw for a touchdown. Kamara 88 yards and a touchdown. But
go Taysom Hill.
That team's 2-0 with Taysom at quarterback, but he's terrible. I mean, they've gotten lucky where they played a couple of bad teams.
Well, Taysom, look at him today. 232 yards, couple of TDs.
He threw for a couple, yeah.
And he had 83 yards rushing. Maybe they're figuring it out. Maybe they don't go back to Breeze. Maybe those cracked ribs there's no return.
Well, the best thing they could have done is what they did and not try and fit Taysom into the Drew Brees offense. They basically rehashed their entire offense. Latavius Murray has become a factor. Kamara had a good game today, actually, but in the past couple games hasn't been as much of a factor. Michael Thomas got healthy. I mean, there were some pieces there, and then they just handled it smartly.
And their defense is really good. Really good. The Lions 34, the Bears 30. Both of is that
Packers is an interception.
I know. Both of those teams are terrible. They're both 5-7. Stafford 402 and 3 touchdowns. Man, what an awful, awful, awful game. Those teams are awful. Now, granted, we're a game better, but still, they're just bad.
How about Adrian getting into the end zone?
He had 2 touchdowns.
Twice, yeah.
Cordero got into the end zone today.
The Cleveland Browns at one point were up 35, I think, nothing. And they only 38-7, I think, at halftime.
It was a lot, yeah.
They only had 3 points in the second half. That game way closer than you thought it would be. Browns 41, Titans 35. Tannehill threw 3 touchdowns. They came back, man. They had a shot at it, but they fell short.
Too little, too late.
But
couldn't overcome some
how about Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns are 9-3?
Right.
9-3. In a normal year, that might get you a bye. That's how good that team is. Although Pittsburgh's 11-0 or whatever they are. But still, good for Cleveland.
Yeah, they scored that touchdown to get to 35 with 28 seconds left, and then they failed on the onside kick. So
Dolphins 19, Bengals 7. The Dolphins are 8-4. Your guy Tua played again, even though a lot of people thought Fitzpatrick had played, but Tua played. He had 1 touchdown. So yeah, they're 8-4, man. Miami is probably going to make the playoffs.
Tua has just looked okay. Have you watched?
Yeah,
I mean, he honestly hasn't been that great.
No, he's just
so
okay.
far. So, I mean, and then he got the thumb injury and stuff. I don't know. He's all right.
The Bengals are 2-9-1. Ugh.
Yeah, that's not good.
The Raiders. How about this? Derek Carr with 5 seconds left threw a touchdown to beat the Jets 31-28.
Yeah, and it was like a 45-yard pass
with
Ruggs.
5 seconds left. Yeah,
everybody was freaking out saying that because we were at the Jags game saying that the Jags are going to be in the driver's seat, and Field Yates is tweeting out pictures of Trevor Lawrence in a Jaguars uniform, and I mean all these people were kind of saying the Jets just screwed this thing up for themselves, and then they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. It was the best was the gif of the security guard who's barely touching anyone as they come into whatever the concert is. And somebody tweeted, "Oh, we're about to lose Jets defense." And they just, I didn't see it, but everyone claims it was just patty cake at the end of the game.
Oh, I'm sure.
Colts 26, Texans 20. Deshaun Watson 341, and he had a pick. He ran one in. But man, the Colts are 8-4. They're a weird team. The defense is good, but Phillip Rivers is I don't even think he's okay. He's just there. You know what I mean? They run Jacoby in the red zone.
Right.
It's just a weird team.
Yeah, they're kind of up and down. I mean, I don't know. They're a likable team for me. I root for Phillip Rivers in that division, and
it feels like an AFC Minnesota. Honestly, is what it is. It's a tough defense.
I'd sure like to be 8-4.
A hard-nosed offensive kind of scheme. I think Cousins has some more talent at this stage in their careers than Rivers does. Maybe he can get some more done, but Phillip Rivers is a gamer, man. I mean, it's tough to knock him down and keep him out.
Man, I'd like to have Justin Houston.
That offensive line is so good.
That offensive line is sweet.
Oh yeah, Quentin Nelson.
Broncos and Chiefs tonight. The Chiefs are 10-1. They're 13-point favorites. Then we have 2 games tomorrow. the Washington football team versus the Steelers, who are only a 6.5-point favorite over a 4-7 football team. And then that's at 4. And then the Bills and 49ers are tomorrow. I don't know if you guys know the answer to this, but is the Washington Steelers game on like the plus?
Oh, it's going to be on Fox.
No,
they're all nationally
No, but
televised.
will it be on like the
KFAN?
That's a good question. I guess I don't know if we'll have it on.
Nice of Abbott to write it on the whiteboard for us.
He doesn't care. Nope. He's mailed it in. And then Tuesday, we have Tuesday night football, Ravens versus the Cowboys. Now, before we go, we got about 3 minutes left here. The Vikings take on Tampa next week. They're 6.5-point favorites. The weather won't be a factor because it's Tampa unless it's too hot. But other than that, it'll be a perfect place to play football.
It's probably too hot for guys like us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this room's too hot for guys
sweat.
like us. Yeah, I'm really hot. It's hot in here anyway. But your guys' quick thoughts when we play Tampa next week. AJ, you go first.
Got to play solid. You got to play a perfect game. You can't make the mistakes you made today. I mean, that's the moral of the story. This team is not good enough to beat a good team and play the way they did today.
All of that, what we saw today was terrible. It was terrible. Not getting a pass rush would be the A topic for me against Tom Brady. So the combination of highlight wide receivers with Godwin and Mike Evans and even Gronk at this stage of his career, getting the extra second to throw is going to be a buffet for Tom Brady. So this will be Zimmer in some sort of lab coat figuring out a weird concoction that works. If he figures it out, I think this game hinges on that defense and what it's able to do.
Ben Gessling just tweeted, because of the Cardinals' loss, your Minnesota Vikings are the 7th and final seed in the playoffs, and they take on Green Bay. How about that?
Yeah.
That would be fun. But
I don't get it. But
yeah, I don't get
it.
We don't get it either. But your Minnesota Vikings are victorious 27-24 in overtime. They beat Jacksonville, who is awful. They're 1-11. Your Vikings are 6-6, and as of right now are the 7th seed in the playoffs. More importantly, AJ, what do we have on KFAN.com?
Well, everything we always have, the coverage, the photos, the videos, and then that cool highlight reel that we put together with PA's calls from the radio with the video from social media.
Nordo, what do we got tomorrow at 9 to noon?
Pete Bursich, positive montage. Let's call it Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees, and look at moving forward and continuing the push against Tom and those Bucks.
The Minnesota Vikings take on Tampa pregame at 10. Your Minnesota Vikings, as of right now, are 6.5-point dogs, but they are 6-6. So here we go. Go Vikes, I guess.
Hey, it's pizza night. What's better than football and pizza? Well, actually, football